You are now listening to or watching the It Takes All Kinds podcast.
Yeah, and if you aren't, you can head over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and listen to us now. Or head on over to Drib on YouTube and watch the video version as well.
And if you'd like to stay up to date on when we're releasing a new episode or any other fun information about the podcast, you can give us a follow on Instagram at It Takes All Kinds Podcast and on Twitter at ITAK Podcast. That's ITAK Podcast.
Without saying much else, we hope you enjoy this episode.
I was like, shit, is he going to get it?
I got it twice.
Is he going to get it?
That's good.
Thank you. That was my impression of Alien.
That's Green Cat Alien sound effect.
Carson reading for Green Cat Alien sound effect. Take one.
That's good. That's good.
Thanks, man. Do I get the part?
Well, we'll give you a
You
call.
can shop at 5 or 6 stores, or you can shop at just one.
There you go. There you go. That's
Did
good.
you get the part?
Yep, you did. Cool. Welcome to the It Takes All Kinds podcast, episode 170 asterisk.
There's no asterisk.
Oh,
That
sorry.
is the correct number. Last week
Last
we said
week was 160.
We said the wrong one.
Last week was 168 asterisk.
And I was like,
168 part 2.
Part 2. I was sitting there and I was like, should I make a little clip where I dub it over? And I was like, nah.
168.
Yeah, it would have been something stupid. And I was like, it doesn't matter.
Welcome to episode 170. We're recording this on Tuesday, June 4th.
Yeah.
And we'll be hearing this on Friday, June 6th. 7th.
There you go. Come on, dude.
I forget that. We got the Cardinal game coming up,
Yeah,
man.
dude.
We got the Cardinal game coming up.
Yeah, dude, you're driving, man. I'm excited. I'm excited for you to drive.
Yeah, me too.
It's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to that. It's weird because humble brag, but my birthday was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I'm really doing nothing for my birthday. It's so weird, but I also was like okay with it. And then
no one treated you special or nice. We all shat on your front porch.
Well, that's because I'm into it,
Right.
but also because
That
you
helps.
guys hate me.
Yeah. That certainly helps my case.
But I was like, I'm doing nothing. And then Saturday, I went out to dinner or lunch, late lunch with my family. And Sunday, I played disc golf at a course I never played with the boys. And then Friday, we're going to the Cardinals game. So I've just had and then I'm like, oh, never mind. I have even more shit than I have had before.
Ever before, yeah.
And I'm just like, I kind of wanted to be done with it. But I'm most looking forward to the game on Friday. But it's like, I thought I didn't have anything going on, and now I have too much. But that's the one thing I'm looking forward to.
It's a great way to end your week.
Yeah, and a great way to
even though your weeks start or end on Sundays, right? Saturdays,
my weekends start on Sundays.
That's right. That's right.
Or wait, my weekends?
Yeah, your weekends, your week starts on Sunday.
My
right?
week starts on Sunday. Yeah. My weekend still ends on Sunday.
That's right. He's all fucked up.
Just like
in
you
the head.
Philistines.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to that, and then we get that's kind of the last. It's also a last hurrah for our fallen soldier Sean, your brother, who was just on last week. Go check that episode out if you haven't already. Because he heads up to the Great White North, Minnesota. I have that in my soundboard. I could have just played that. Beautiful. But
Don't
yeah,
worry. I think the audience likes hearing the tapping of the keyboard and then a clip pulling up. I think they like that.
that's good for watch time retention.
Yeah, 100%.
But I was talking to you earlier, and I was like, I had a realization in the shower, as I do quite often. That's how I found out about string theory.
Is that what they call it?
A realization.
A realization?
Yeah, it's when you stroke your dick a bunch and
Yeah, in the shower. Yeah, is that what they call it?
then you have a big realization.
Yeah, you have a big, huge realization.
all over the wall and the floor.
It sticks to drain. It's crazy.
So gross. Was that what you were thinking, or
No, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
We're on the same page.
Yeah.
We communicate with our eyes.
That's the sound of our eyes making contact.
I had the big realization in the shower. Huge, massive. I've been saving that up for a week. And it
It
was
hit the ceiling
what really set it off was your brother. I was thinking about your brother, and he
in the
set it
shower
off.
while
Yeah.
you were realizing
That's what helped.
realizing.
That's what helped it.
Yeah, right. Okay,
You know,
I get it.
I can't look at things.
It
It's
is
more mental for me.
Gay Pride Month.
Oh yeah, we wanted to give a big shout out. Happy Pride Month, everybody.
Oh, pride. You're gay. It's awesome.
So just giving a shout out to all of our gay friends. We love you.
Yeah. So
We love you. You're very special.
You're a great big part of our community.
But yeah, so I had a realization that your brother is going to be the first friend I have to say goodbye to before I move.
Yeah.
I'm making his move about myself.
Right, as you should.
As I should. Because
yeah,
he
because
will,
fuck that guy.
he'll at least be back, but you know, if he gets a job, he'll still be back and then go back up there.
Yeah.
But you guys will see him before I do.
Yeah,
like
that's
I'll
100%.
see everybody. I probably won't. Most likely, once I leave, I won't come back until Christmas.
Yeah, you can see him in your mind's eye though in the shower.
Yeah, I'll have lots of realizations when I move out to LA.
My parents told me that they were actually needed the basement back, so that's why they're kicking you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard something about a Benihana grill.
Yeah,
or
that's what they're putting in down
conversation.
here. Yeah, they're putting in a Benihana kitchen.
Benihana.
Kitchen down here.
Okay.
Yep. There you go.
Cool. I mean, they could just do that now. I mean,
Be helpful.
it'd be helpful. It'd be nice to have a kitchen down here.
Yeah,
and a bathroom.
Benihana.
Benihana.
Benihana kitchen.
Owned by Steve Aoki's family.
Benihana.
They started Benihana. Did you
Really?
know that?
I
Yeah.
did not know that. I don't even know what a Benihana kitchen
He
is.
is a Nepo baby because of Benihana. You know what Benihana is?
No, I have no
It's a
idea.
restaurant where they do the flips and throw eggs in your mouth.
Oh, really? I thought
And
that was
fuck
just
your
called
sister.
hibachi.
And the grill master fucks your mom or your sister with the spatula.
On the grill.
Yeah, it's part of the act. It's not real, Gavin.
Oh,
It's a
A
show.
Right, okay.
It's like the
well, then it's okay.
Like the... So yeah, it was just a realization that
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say goodbye to him, and I was like, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
That's a weird, because I've been like, obviously been thinking about like
My brother.
I've been thinking a lot about your brother in the shower, but I've been thinking about a lot of other people in the shower as well, and I'm like, you know, obviously that part's gonna suck the most, and I want to have like a going away party thing.
Yeah.
Like I keep telling that, and I keep thinking about that, and then a part of my brain is like, I kind of just want to leave and not tell anybody
You
when
could,
I'm
yeah.
going
100%,
to.
yeah.
Because it's going to like suck to have everybody there and be like, well, I'll see you sometime.
Yeah.
But I still want to do it anyways. Like I would like to see everybody. Because like that way I don't have to like make separate visits
Trips, yeah.
with people.
Yeah.
Like I don't have
That's
to be
way easier.
like, okay, well, we'll hang out this time. It'll be the last time I see. And it's like.
So
I can
Sean's
just
the
get it-
exception is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because he's moving.
Right.
But then he's coming. Maybe coming back.
Who knows?
Who knows? But anyways, there's just a realization I had, but I'm looking forward to the game. But it was my birthday, and I also treated myself to Taco Bell, not 2 days in a row, but
Oh, okay.
almost 2 days in a row.
Right. I usually do
Because-
that.
Well, yeah, it's
Almost 2 days in a row.
It's not. I don't typically eat out that often, because I got HelloFresh use code Carson. Actually, use code. Or no, we don't have a HelloFresh sponsor right now. Never mind. Don't use the code.
Don't have it. We
I
don't
don't
have
have
it.
one. You can try office hours. It probably doesn't work anymore though. Yeah. So I wanted Taco Bell because for their, if you're an app member or rewards member, they do like early releases of their new menu items.
Yeah.
And the Cheez-It Crunch Wrap
I saw
and
that.
Big Cheez-It
Not from you,
Tostada
but yeah.
released, and I'd known about that for like a year, or maybe
Yeah,
even,
they
like,
announced
2
that a
years.
while ago.
Yeah, they like tested it out like years ago, and it like, I was like, you guys need to fucking why haven't they released this?
Why don't
Like,
we have like big Cheez-Its?
Right, we need the Big Cheez-It, and
So you can realize in the shower on it.
right, so I can just realize all over and play soggy Cheez-It with my friends.
Exactly. In the shower.
But I was like stoked about it when it was announced. So whenever they announced that it was like, you know, if you're a rewards member, you could get it. I was
Right.
like, I got to. So Friday, I got 2
You're gonna tell me your whole order?
Oh yeah, because
Okay.
it's disgusting.
Okay.
I got not my whole order, but I just want to tell you how many of the Cheez-It things I ate. I had 2 Cheez-It Crunch Wraps and the Cheez-It Tostada that night, Friday night, along with other things, which we don't need to get into that. And then it was the Crunch Wrap, the Tostada was fine. I just wanted to get it because I wanted to see the cheese.
Did you take all the ingredients off and energize all over it?
No, but you can order. You can like order it with nothing on it, so you just get the big Cheez-It.
Really?
And I almost did it to have for the show.
Yeah.
But it's like $4 for a big for a big cracker. And like it's
that's what they call me whenever I'm walking around the halls.
There goes that big cracker. There goes that big cracker with nothing on it.
Exactly.
And so I didn't. And I was like, I kind of had the thought of like, I might go back and get it again. So I was like, well, maybe if it's like interesting, I'll buy it. But like I took the tostada and there was like a dry side with nothing on it. A little cracker with nothing on it, which is also what they called you when you were a newborn. I took a little piece of that and just tried it on its own. And it was like, it didn't taste like a Cheez-It. It was like, it tasted like a thick saltine that was like kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
So I was like,
it's like the opposite. Like, you know, like how mini M&Ms taste better than the regular M&Ms?
Mm-hmm.
It's like the opposite whenever you make something super big. It's a great novel idea, but like execution, like it's going to taste like a fucking saltine.
Right. And I feel like if you made an actual Cheez-It too big, I think it would be really brittle. Also, that was really brittle though. So I don't know. I feel like it'd be really brittle, or it would be like really hard. And then it would be like a big matzah. Yeah. Which is just like an unleavened bread cracker, which is like just a stale saltine.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good. And then Sunday, which is my actual birthday, I was like, I kind of want to get it again.
I gotta get this Cheez-It.
So I got 2 more Cheez-It Crunch.
Oh my God.
Among other things. So over the course of 3 days, I had 5 big Cheez-Its.
Fuck.
But it's good. The Crunch Wrap is really good. Like
really?
Does
it taste like a Cheez-It?
Yeah. It just tastes like it's a really cheesy Crunch Wrap.
The thing about cheese is that like I have to really want some cheese to really want to cheese it.
Yeah, but aren't you a cheese?
I am pretty big. My cheese cravings have cut back a little bit.
Okay.
Because I go to bed before midnight.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.
Man. You're good.
But whenever it was Colby Jack Cheez-Its. So if it was like a Colby Jack Cheez-It, I would 100%.
Are you a Cheez-It guy? Like, do you eat Cheez-Its pretty often?
Not as much anymore, but I did eat entire boxes in one sitting before.
Okay, I haven't done that, but I'm a huge Cheez-It guy.
I'm not sure I would really enjoy like the thought of having like multiple big Cheez-Its in one sitting. Sounds
we don't have to.
Oh. Well, then if I were to just get one, it would be a lot.
Yeah. Next time you go through the drive-thru, once they release it to the masses, or if you have the app, order it and just get the Crunch Wrap and try that out. Because it's almost unnoticeable, but I think it's better.
You think it's better?
But some people are like grossed out at the idea of it. They're like,
no, that's the thing. It's like it's doing that to me.
I could. I mean, you were getting grossed out, but I thought it was maybe just the amount.
Yeah.
Not so much the fact that there's a big cheese.
No, it's really just like the fact that it is a big cheese is really gross to me. Is that it's just like
why is that gross?
I don't know. It's just like
this is not the first time I've heard this.
Yeah, I don't know why it does. It's just because it's like it looks inhumanly large.
It is big.
It just looks.
It looks like a big cheese.
It's really gross to look at to me. I don't know why, but it's just like
so weird.
It's just like it's like if you were like zoom in on like someone's skin. It's like gross.
Okay.
It's like, and if I were to make like my skin bigger, that's how it feels like.
What are you, Ed Gein?
Yeah.
Making it into furniture?
Yeah. No, but it is just odd to look at. It's just uncomforting. Don't like it.
So,
and I feel like it would be really gross. It's a lot of cheese. It feels like it would just like,
but
like
it's not
fill
like...
up my mouth. That's the noise it would make in my mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the noise it would make.
But like when I eat Cheez-Its, I don't really like think like, because I can't eat much cheese at a time.
Right, exactly. And that's my thing, is that it feels like it would be too much.
Out. No, because I don't think it's like that. It's not Cheez-Its.
It's not like you have to eat it in one bite, right?
Yeah, no, not that I'm aware of.
I think maybe that's what it is. Is I'm so used to eating.
Cheez-Its.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I could shovel Cheez-Its in my mouth, and it's not. They're not that cheesy.
No, yeah, exactly.
To
and
me.
it's like I have to eat a lot more to get that like cheesy flavor.
Right. Right.
That's what I think that's what it is that it feels like it would be way too much cheesy flavor because it is just so big.
If you're talking
But
about
I'm not going to eat it in one huge foul bite.
the Colby Jack Cheez-Its are like have the powder.
Yeah,
on
they
it,
do. Yeah.
which like a regular Cheez-It doesn't. It's just the
What?
salt. Sorry to break the news to you
What?
and everybody listening. But yeah, that's so weird that
Yeah,
grosses
and
you
it just is uncomforting. It's just
Certain food things gross me out. Like watching people eat grosses me out. I was gonna say like sometimes, but most of the time watching people eat really grosses me out.
I watched a guy make like one of those giant isopods, like those giant isopods that live in the bottom of the sea. He like cooked one and put it on a grilled cheese and tried it.
That I wouldn't be able to watch.
Yeah,
that.
no, it was. He said he took one bite and threw up. So
A food scene in a movie, now that you ask, that really grosses me out is in A Christmas Story when the younger brother's eating mashed potatoes and he starts winking like a pig. I can't watch that scene. It's so gross to me.
Really?
Yeah. And also in Matilda, is that the movie?
Yeah, with the
Where he eats the cake.
yeah, I think so. Yeah,
He's shoveling, and Nurse Trunchbull makes him eat the cake.
yeah, that's 100%.
Shoveling his face full of it. I can't
Are you?
can't watch it.
This is just also a random question of food for thought. Do
Yeah,
you
food-
do you
literally.
notice? Yeah, food for thought. Do you notice whenever people in TV shows like bite down on their fork and pull the food off?
Yeah.
Do you notice that?
Yes, but it doesn't bother me.
Okay, there was someone that I know that
It
like
bothers
it bothers the fuck out of them.
And also like scraping on a plate, that doesn't really bother
No,
me.
it used to.
Like if it's an accident,
yeah,
like I don't give a
it
shit.
used to.
It's not like you're doing it if you're doing it on purpose, then it'll probably get on
Yeah.
my nerves. But
And it used to, definitely used to. But then I was just kind of like, okay, I'll just grow up.
yeah,
I mean, honestly, it was just like,
Yeah.
I can't be annoyed at this anymore.
Right.
People are gonna do it.
yeah, but the biting down on that doesn't bother me. I
He
don't
just
know.
notices it in like every show that they're like,
Yeah, Shing.
yeah,
I don't know. People can't bite into ice cream. I can do that.
I can buy an ice cream.
Yeah, me too. See if other people are like, I can't do that.
I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign. We'll see where my teeth
Yeah.
are in 10 years.
I never gotten a brain freeze until like a few years ago. Like my whole life. I never
Oh,
got one.
I used to be like that. I think it feels like it was entirely tied to the amount of mint I ate. I wish it wasn't
What does that mean?
Like if I was eating like a mint gum flavor, that
You would
used
get a
to
brain
give that would
freeze?
give me like that would make my mouth like hurt.
Would it give you a brain? Like
No.
you feel it up here?
No, but like I remember not having mint gum or anything like that, and then having ice cream and not being able to bite down onto it.
Oh.
So I
But do
think
you
it's-
get brain freezes like where you feel it?
yeah,
in
yeah,
here?
I used to, yeah, not as much.
Not,
not as
oh,
much.
it's gone away.
Yeah, it's gone because I wasn't eating mint. I swear
that
it's that.
connection is so confusing.
That's the
to
first
me.
thing that came up in my head was that. That's the connection. That's the reason why.
All right, well, okay, Alex Jones.
They're putting frogs in the water to make the freaking water gay.
And the mint makes your brain not feel pain.
Bane.
Real quick, if you don't mind, I want to talk about movies for a bit. And this is actually your idea.
Wait, hold on. I gotta
Oh, okay.
find.
You got a theme song for me. Well, I'll just set this up real quick because is it a? I can't even read what that says.
Welcome to Carson's Cinema Corner. With Carson
CCC.
Ball.
We're calling it the Triple C, the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
You texted me a couple weeks ago, and you're like, "I just had an idea." I think you had a big realization in the shower when this happened too, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
And you were like, "You should do a movie segment where you talk about a movie."
Yeah, because you do talk about movies quite often, and I don't.
Yeah, and I was like, "Why do you?" I was probably in the middle of something, but I think I thought in my head, I was like, "Why does Gavin want me to have another segment where I talk even more?"
Just so it has a title.
Yeah, you just want me to talk with a purpose. I get it.
Yeah.
But this is going to be another occasional segment, like most of our segments are
I'll
now.
have to put a link down for this. I'll make a song for it.
Okay. Where I talk about a movie I saw recently. Actually, I have two, but I'll talk about one mainly because it's a new release.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to brag, but I'm a movie guy.
He
I
can
like
sit down
watching
and watch
movies.
He can sit down and watch a movie for 2, maybe 3 hours.
2, 3, 4 hours. I watched Birth of a Nation all last night.
Holy fuck.
All 6 hours of it.
Wow.
They play that at the White House.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? They played that. I wonder if they played the whole
That was
movie.
like the first movie they played at the White House.
Yeah, and it's like a 5-hour long movie. Do you think they really...
Was it for Woodrow Wilson? Was that who it was for?
Probably.
Because he was a real bitch.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to make any allegations. Say in Minecraft so they don't get you.
Yeah. Any dead presidents, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, baby. Yeah, but I wonder if they showed the whole thing. Because that might have been like the first movie a lot of people saw. And they were probably like, how much longer is this thing?
Well, then they were like, probably like, this is a standard. Every movie that should be this long. And then they like showed up to like one of those 20-minute shorts and they're like, the fuck was this?
I brought a blanket. I brought a piss bag.
Yeah.
We brought a spit bucket.
They got a spittoon. Ba-ding,
ba-ding. We brought a bed. Yeah.
Had sex, made out.
We made out during the
smoked cigarettes, the whole pack.
During Birth of a Nation.
During Birth of a Nation, it happens.
Well, never mind. I have a really inappropriate joke that I could make, but I won't. So I watched Birth of a Nation. They re-released it on IMAX.
The
Alamo.
They put it on the Criterion Collection.
It's at the Alamo right now.
Yeah, holy shit.
I still can't believe a professor a couple years ago made us watch that at home.
Did he actually?
Yes.
No fuck. Oh,
and I like the professor too. That's
I
the
like
funny
the
thing.
movie.
I like the movie. Okay. I had to pause it a few times and
I get it. It's like
I couldn't keep my eyes off of it. I didn't watch the whole thing.
No.
I watched I literally skipped around. I think I was laying in bed and I skipped around it. I was like, I'm not getting anything from this.
Yeah, look it down your phone.
What the fuck? What the fuck is this for? God, imagine watching that high. Whoa.
You're so stuck on this Birth of a Nation. What movies did you actually watch?
I watched Birth of a Nation, okay? No, okay, sorry. I was going to say, it's because you keep fucking me up over here. Don't try and blame it on me, son of a bitch. Getting me stuck on Birth of a Nation. God damn it. I don't want to talk about that movie.
Maybe 3, 4, 5 hours.
5 hours. Woodrow Wilson jacking off.
He's having a realization.
In the Oval Office.
He had a realization during the movie.
Fuck, what was I even saying? I like movies. I like watching them.
Birth of a Nation.
Birth of a Nation is
namely.
Mostly. God damn it. I have it on a 4-disc set. Box set. Birth of the Nation. with behind the scenes.
It's Steelbook.
Special credits. They have a whole commentary, Woodrow Wilson commentary.
Yeah.
Well, this is the
Oh,
and it's like a director's cut.
yeah.
7.5 hours long.
Who was the director? I used to know the name off the top of my head. I don't know.
Well, he was a real artist of his time.
I think it was Spike Jonze.
Oh, really?
No, he directed movies in the 90s.
So you watched a movie this weekend?
Yeah,
You like movies.
I like movies.
He
I watch
watches
them.
movies frequently.
Yeah, more frequently than I used to. I think it's because I don't watch TV shows anymore. I haven't been on a TV show mood in a while.
Got me there, man. I can't watch
I don't know
either.
why. I just I have no interest in watching a TV show. It just seems like such a commitment. I think I'm in a weird
Commitment hole.
I think I'm in like a new brand of my life where I'm non-committal
Yeah.
to like stupid things.
Yeah.
You know, not important shit. But yeah, so we I guess we came up with this because I watch movies and I talk about them from time to time.
Yeah.
So now I have a segment to talk about them. So I watched 2 movies over the weekend. Well, I watched one yesterday and I watched one over the weekend.
Right.
The new one I watched is called In a Violent Nature.
Okay.
New horror movie. You haven't heard anything about it?
I think I sent it to you. I swear I think I sent that to you a while ago.
Maybe you did.
Was that A24?
No, surprisingly, it's not.
okay.
It is.
I did see someone post about it though. I have heard about it.
I believe it is. I'm assuming it's an indie film. It's very low budget.
Is it good?
Well, I'll get into that.
We'll get though.
Chris Nash. Oh, it was distributed by Shudder and IFC, who distribute indie films.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I wonder if it'll even give me. But it's probably not as low budget as
Birth of a Nation.
Birth of a Nation was. It doesn't even say what the budget was.
Wow.
But probably not as low of budget as Skinamarink.
Mm-hmm. Which
because
I think
that
had a
was,
budget of like $1 million or something.
No, like only a couple thousand.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
like
crazy.
fuck. Well, now you got me.
Sorry.
No, I want to know now, because it was like, man, might have even been less than 10,000.
It was 15,000.
15, yeah. Which even that I was like,
Insane.
kind of wondered what they used it on.
Yeah.
Because there's not. I mean, like I can make Skinamarink. Okay. I mean, I guess
It's not real art.
It was. I think it was because it was shot on film.
Yeah.
which
It's very
you could probably
expensive.
spend $15K on just film and getting that developed.
And that
but-
length.
Yeah,
Maybe back in the day for like Birth of a Nation, but like,
yeah. For then you could then it was dirt cheap.
yeah. The follow-up movie to Birth of a Nation was Burst of a Nation.
Yeah,
Right.
and it was a
Big-
porn tribute.
Yeah. It was a big realization
Yeah, it was a huge realization
for the
that they
film
had.
industry.
It was a huge realization. The director came out and apologized for
Yeah.
making the movie. Woodrow Wilson was there, and he was like, "We didn't actually."
It's like my deck is named Woody.
It's a Woody. Then, yeah, we're sorry for making this movie.
and that was it.
That was it.
That was the big realization. But yeah, In a Violent Nature, it's a indie horror film.
Like a slasher.
A slasher, exactly. It's a slasher. But the big realization about it that everybody has been like, the reason why I was like, I gotta go see this, because I haven't really had much of an interest to go see any movie recently, which is surprising. Which
Stubbs member right here, fellas.
Yeah, but I'll bring up why it's surprising in a minute, because this ties into something. But this is the first one I wanted to go see because people were like, it's a slasher film from the perspective of the killer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I
that's
was
right,
like,
yeah.
oh, that's interesting. I wonder how they're going to do that. Like, I don't even, I can come up with what that can mean in my mind, but like, I don't know what that looks
It's
like.
just a mask over the camera, and they just
Yeah. And they just walk around.
They got
and
like
kill
a
people.
they got like a fake arm that like slashes.
Yeah. I almost kind of wish that's what the movie was.
Really? Damn.
So I was really excited about it. I had seen some people talk about it and say that they liked it a lot. And so I was really hyped about it. And I'm not like shitting on anything because it's an indie film, low budget. Like, I'm stoked for what they're able to do with that budget.
Launch some
But
careers.
yeah, exactly. But I just thought it for what it could have been, it wasn't great. And like the fact that people are really writing home about the fact that it's from the killer's perspective, it didn't really feel like that. Like, they really could have leaned into that more. And the fact that that's the only thing people are saying about this movie, I was like, it wasn't really. It was like kind of, but like you don't really like. I wanted to be like in the mind of the killer.
Yeah.
I wanted to like know more
about
him, or actually, in
make
all
him
honesty,
the protagonist and the people
Yeah.
is killing the antagonist. or something
exactly.
like
That's
that.
at one point I thought the movie was going to do that, and then
Yeah.
it didn't. Spoilers, by the way. Kind of. I'll be pretty vague about it because I don't want to go on too long about it. But yeah, I really thought they could have like,
Because
leaned
I
into
thought that would have been
more.
like the twist, is that it was like,
Yeah,
oh, these
he
guys
was-
are like, he's getting bullied at school, you know,
Exactly.
stuff like
exactly. That would have been. In one point, I was like, "Oh, I get it." Like, the like you said, the antagonists
that.
are
Or the
coming.
people he's killing, or they're coming for
Oh
him.
yeah, that they're chasing him now, and we
Yeah.
get to see that from his perspective. But it was like it started from his perspective, and then it like kind of went back and forth a little bit, and then it like at the end of it, it completely switched to the perspective of this one random person, and I was like, well, that didn't really like, it didn't like,
Didn't do anything.
yeah, it just didn't do anything, and like I almost wish they didn't give you a reason for why he was killing, because the reason why he was killing was so boring. And it was almost kind of like, made me kind of grimace at it a little bit. And this is the one like
Yeah.
kind of harp I'll give the director, because I was like, this is really fucking stupid. Like, and I'll say, because I would like that's something I would,
Yeah.
I'm okay with saying. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to tell off low budget directors, because I'm stoked. I love indie films. I love that indie films are getting praise.
Right.
But like, this is fucking stupid. I'm like, actually, this actually like kind of made me a little angry.
Yeah.
The reason that this like person started killing people, or like the story that they gave him, is that he was a mentally challenged kid that went crazy. And I was like really? Like, what is this, fucking 1975?
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, I'm
Well,
like,
that's what I was-
like, really? That's the. And then I was like, the whole movie, I was like, man, I really hope we find out that that's not a real story,
Yeah.
because it was so lame. They told it at a campfire.
Oh, actually?
Yeah, they were like, there's this crazy guy, and he was mentally challenged, and they kept trying to get the guy to say the R word, and
that
like
like a-
literally one person pulled out their phone and were like pretending to film them, and you're like, no, you're gonna cancel me for that, and I was like, what?
I was like, is this
That's
like? I was
one.
like, and
that's
then I was
one
like,
way of dating a movie. Yeah.
yeah. And in my mind, I was like, okay, is this gonna be like a satire at some point? Like,
Yeah.
is this satirical?
What is this?
No, that was just straight up the story.
Huh.
They told it at a campfire. A mentally challenged kid went nuts, and I was like, okay, sure.
I think the other thing about movies is that it's supposed to take you away from reality.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, not even that, but it's just like not to be like, oh, crazy people are killing people all the time. But
Right,
it's such a
right.
tired narrative.
Yeah.
And
it was
just like a school shooter standpoint kind of thing.
Yeah. I was like, okay. And that just kind of like killed
Even
it.
just
I was
doing the bully thing would have been a little bit better.
Well,
I was off the dome.
like, in my mind, I was like, they shouldn't have even told us anything about the person. It should have just
exactly.
been like ominous. Like, why is this guy killing? Like, we don't even know anything.
Absolutely, yeah, that would have been
Like,
that. Even just cutting
way
out
better.
that segment would have been like great.
100%. Like and then I was really hoping that we wouldn't even like have any antagonist characters. Like
Yeah.
I was like, I just want to know the killer and just like, I wanted it to just be like like this sounds so fucked up from like an outside perspective, but I just wanted to be like a killing spree. Like we just find out like little things about these random people, but
Yeah.
like we don't end up knowing them or like getting into them, but like it ended up being about them. And I was like,
And then
this isn't from his perspective.
Then like
though.
the whole message would be like, you don't know the lives people are living. You know they.
Yeah,
you know.
or something. I don't know. It was just to me it was just another slasher. But I will say beautifully shot. Super cool. Like a lot of it was like tracking shots of him like walking through the woods just from behind him, like it felt like you're watching a video game.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
In a good way.
In a good way. That was really cool. That was beautifully done. I really love that, like, I would say 50% of the movie is just him, like, silently walking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I thought that was cool. I love that. That's what I loved
Like a
about it. It's like,
continual
that's
shot
where it
throughout
felt,
different-
yeah,
yeah.
that's where it felt unique.
Right.
But then they had to throw in this, like, stupid shit. And I was like, you didn't need that. I'm like, you had something so cool. Like, make
Yeah.
it ominous and weird. Like,
100%.
you know, get people, like piss the normies off in the theater who are like thinking they're going to see this, you know,
And that's
crazy slasher.
That was the thing I was gonna say was that I feel like otherwise, if they hadn't established this, people would have been so
Exactly.
pissed off, and they would have been like, "Well, I don't know if that's a good guy or the bad guy."
Right,
Well,
exactly.
if they don't explicitly say it in the movie, I won't know
Exactly.
who that is.
Yeah, it didn't feel like an indie horror film to me. It felt like half the time it felt like that, and the other half it felt like just a stupid slasher.
Also,
that
with
would
the
have been a
motivation thing, I think they probably went back to like, I mean, like the Freddy Krueger stuff was also just like it was
Yeah.
scary for its time, but then like
Yeah.
now
Yeah,
it's just like
dated.
it's dated
It's
and
dated,
just,
but it's good. Like I appreciate it for what
was
it is.
it was also just like conceptually,
Mhm.
it's just like that's stupid. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, oh,
Yeah.
the guy's coming into people's dreams and he's killing
He's a
people.
janitor.
Yeah, he's a fucking janitor,
was a
really.
janitor.
You know what I mean? Like, and like
Yeah.
that's it. You know, or like the Jason stuff where he's like,
Yeah.
oh, he's just a big tall guy in a hockey mask. Really?
Exactly.
That's not that scary.
No, exactly. Do you mind hitting the camera when you get a second?
Yes.
And yeah, and it did like it did have a lot of like callbacks to Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Jason, which I liked. Like a lot of new slasher films are doing that. Like my favorite recent slasher film was Thanksgiving. I thought that was like a dumb, good slasher film. Like
Yeah,
that
you
didn't
could
get
sit-
as much love as it should have. And it
Yeah.
wasn't like an indie film, but still it was great. I love that. But this, yeah, it just like it teetered too much between that, and it made me disappointed.
Did it sound like it really? It's to me, it sounds like it didn't really have an identity in the movie. It wasn't really sure what it really wanted to be.
Exactly. Exactly. It didn't decide what it wanted. And yeah, I don't get where people are like so excited about this and think it's so groundbreaking. I thought it like parts of it were, and then other parts weren't. The kills in it were great.
Mhm.
That was another good thing about it, is like the kills were super cool. If you're not a horror fan, I know this all sounds weird. Trust me, if it'll make sense if you appreciate it. I guess, I don't know. Yeah, but that part of it was great. The killer looked really cool. He wore a mask that was cool. You also like only saw his like actual face once.
Oh, okay.
You didn't even
That's
like
actually
see,
a good part of the movie.
Yeah, you didn't even see the front part of him for like a quarter into the movie. Like you just saw the back of him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just some things I didn't like, but yeah, beautifully shot. Actors are pretty good in it. Like there was no like bad
that
Other
like,
than
bad
maybe like
actors.
the actors weren't bad, but the dialogue between
Yeah,
them was bad.
whoever wrote it's not good. Yeah, I'm trying to wrap this up. I was trying to think of one more thing I was going to say about it. But yeah. And the other thing that was cool is no score, no music through the whole thing
Really?
at all. The only music you heard was like a radio. This guy who gets killed was playing, like, had a cassette, like a Walkman. And yeah, like literally just radios in that. And then there was like a song at the end, and that was it. Which that was another really cool thing that I liked about it. But yeah, just overall kind of disappointing to me.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm glad I saw it, but I never
Would it
will
have been
see it
better
again.
with like an 80s music score? Like
No,
I
liked
Freddie
it.
or
I liked that
you
it
know,
didn't have music.
Okay.
I liked that about it.
added to it.
But it also wasn't like, the other thing about it too is that, like, if you don't like horror movies because of jump scares, there is no jump scares in this movie, which is fine. I don't mind that. Honestly,
I think
like,
jump scares are kind of cheap thrill.
yeah, they for sure can be. And this one like makes you feel like there is going to be one, but there isn't, which I really like when that happens. Like,
Yeah.
I like when they're like, they show you they show you and you can like kind of see the killer,
Yeah.
but then like he never like jumps out in front. Like that never happens.
Yeah, that's cool.
And that's cool. But yeah, just things to appreciate about it. Overall, didn't love it. Really quickly, another movie I saw, just to jump into it. I saw the movie Repo Man from 1984, I think it is, starring Emilio Estevez.
Okay.
That's a pretty good movie.
Really?
That's a really good movie.
I think I've heard that movie before too.
It's just about a guy who becomes a repo man, but he's like a punk kid, and it's like really about like the 80s punk culture,
Yeah.
which is super cool.
Is it like
And
a
it's
cult
also-
classic movie or?
Yeah, big
okay,
time.
okay.
Because the guy who directed the Sid and Nancy movie, which is about Sid Vicious
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and
Okay.
Nancy, whatever her name
Yeah.
is, who died, and Sid was in the Sex Pistols. But yeah, it's just like it was just great. I just loved it.
One movie I do have that I really want to watch is Lawnmower Man.
I need to see that too.
I've heard
That's on my
that
list.
was Funhouse had been referencing that for like
Mhm.
10 years. And everybody on
need to
there,
see that.
I always, anytime it's just such a stupid concept too.
Yeah, that's one I need to watch. I think I have it on VHS, but I think it's on a streaming service. I
Probably
watched,
like Tubi or some shit like that.
yeah, I need to see that. That one looks great. But anyways,
Repo Man, good.
Yeah, Repo Man's great. It's a fun movie.
We'll also have to come up with a scoring system along the path of Carson's.
Oh shit, yeah, we will have to. We might have to figure it out because I don't know if I can come up with something on the top of my head. I don't know. We'll come up with something. But I've like I said, I've loved movies for a while, but I've been thinking about them more because for the past couple of months now, I have been working on another podcast in addition to Office Hours, called Movies Baby with 5 Ys, which is a show hosted by Brett and Joe, who are the co-owners of the Forever Dog Podcast Network, which is the podcast network that Office Hours belongs to, along with Best Show and Double Threat and a bunch of other shows that people love. But it's a great show. It's all about current movies. They also have another show that I work for called Weekend at Bergman's, which is like they're about like older movies, usually like the revisiting movies, which is also why I like been talking about Planet of the Apes and like all these other things and stuff like that. And it's been fun because it's like we've had this conversation, but it's like I don't really like movie nerds.
Yeah.
Like some movie nerds really piss me off.
Yeah.
Cause it's like I love movies, but I don't really talk about them that much, besides with you. And so, but I like these guys. I knew I liked these guys, so I was like, oh, they'll make this fun. And of course, I watched it before working for them, and I was like, oh, this is actually fun. And like, it actually got me into liking movies and thinking about movies and talking about them because I think they talk about it in a way that's really fun.
Yeah.
It makes it interesting and not like just hearing someone like I love listen. Another thing I realize is I love listening to people nerd out about stuff.
Yeah.
Like even if it's something I have no interest in. Like that's why we talked about it with our friend Carver, but that's why I watched all of those behind the scenes of the Star Wars movies, even though I hadn't even like seen the full movies, but because I just love watching things being made. But George Lucas just like nerding out about his movies is like
It is pretty
it's so much
entertaining.
fun
Yeah.
and entertaining to me. Especially, but mostly when it's someone who is charismatic and energetic about it. If it's someone who's just like a slog and
Yeah.
it's like
Brother,
making
get
it
to
this
your
like
point.
high class thing, it's
Yeah.
like fuck off. Like, go
To be
away.
honest with you, that's how I feel about Martin Scorsese. That's for another day.
You know what? I can't say I've watched anything where Martin Scorsese has talked about any of his movies and enjoyed it. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
because I haven't looked for it, but
His
he just
daughter.
he talks in an annoying
Yeah,
way too.
that-
I love
there's that too.
Scorsese. Scorsese, I'm sorry. I know you're watching.
No, but like he has his daughter Francesca,
Yeah, Francesca.
and she made a TikTok where basically their entire basement is all dedicated to like the golden era of movies.
Yeah.
And
He's such a nerd.
and it's like it's that type of thing where it gives that air of I know better movies
Yeah,
than you.
I'm
Plus,
pompous about
I'm a director.
Yeah, whether he is or not, I don't know for sure. I know he's very funny.
I know
Like,
he's funny. He was in Shark Tale. I know he's funny.
exactly. Exactly. But no, I totally get that. Like, and that's my thing too, is like, I look at somebody like doing something like that and immediately write it off
No, exactly.
without
I was
even
like,
knowing anything about it.
No, I'm like, oh, this is stupid.
But yeah, back to that. I'm working for them, pretty much doing the
And they're
same,
not the pompous asshole.
and they're not. No, not at all. They're very self-aware. Like they're like make fun of us in the
Yeah.
descriptions
Yeah.
whenever you write them, and I'm like, good, like perfect.
I love making fun
I
of
love
people.
making fun of you guys. No, they're
And I
great.
get paid to do it.
And I get paid. Giggity, giggity. Yeah, they're great. The show is great. Go check it out if you haven't already. And again, even if you're not like a movie nerd, I think it's like, again, I wasn't, even though I liked movies for my own reasons, but I was never like a nerd about it. And they truly made me interested in it and like fully invested in it. And it's a great show. So I'm working for that show as well, along with Office Hours. That's kind of why I've
Been busy.
mentioned being busier and truly like, along with Office Hours, along with, working for them and along with
Fuck.
Gavin spilling Dr. Pepper on his laptop, it's making the dream of being able to move to LA a possibility, like because of working for these guys and it being able to do this job that I love, or these jobs that I love, and that helps me be able to afford to be living somewhere like that. Sorry, Gavin saw a big spider. But yeah, I just want to give them a shout out and shout out that show finally. And yeah, I love movies. I just realized I love movies. Gavin saw another spider. Jeez, there's a lot of spiders down here.
of spiders down here, buddy.
Do you want me to throw that in the wash?
Yes, please. Would you?
You can take the keyboard off, right? For anybody listening at home, Gavin spilt a
was
delicious can of creamy coconut Dr. Pepper on his laptop.
If anyone knows what my response is, but I go limp whenever I start laughing. For some reason,
Yeah.
I get really weak. I get really weak whenever I laugh.
It's because you're not ingesting enough iron.
That's what it is. Yeah. And I just completely lost control.
He goes neurodivergent when he laughs.
That's right. I was in the movie Divergent.
Yeah.
For those at home.
You were in Divergent.
I was one of the kids that they killed in the first round of the Hunger Games.
Never saw the movie.
No, I didn't either.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes two of us. Yeah, the next segment's Gavin's, but we could move on to something else while he cleans up.
Can you pause it for a brief moment?
Oh, I can set this up because it's pretty. I'm gonna set up the Trump thing.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
We're gonna be very brief about this, not only because just for time's sake, but because literally everybody and their dad has talked about this.
It was a big win for all the liberal
was a
dads
big
and
win.
uncles out there.
It was
and
a-
the
yeah.
wine moms and all that.
It was a big win for the wine mommies and
Well, don't like that.
the gay daddies.
That's okay. That's
It's
another.
Pride. It's Pride
It's
Month,
Pride,
Gavin.
you're right, you're right.
We gotta accept.
You're right.
There are only two genders: wine mommies and gay daddies. Which are you?
That's right. I'm both
No, there's
simultaneously.
more than one gender. As many as you want. Okay, but there are wine mommies. We gotta
We gotta establish that.
establish that. It's very important. But yeah, it was a big win. Found guilty on 34 counts. And
34 counts.
34 counts. He counted up to 34.
On 34 different bank accounts.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. How do you have that many?
34 accounts. And it was, yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean,
I feel like this guy committed moida.
Moida. Mo. Now, what does it mean? Well, he most likely won't be going to jail. I think everybody's kind of established that, and I have to agree.
That was the ending.
Oh. Starting up.
There it is.
Gavin started his little, that's what his computer sounds like. He just started
I just started back up. At least it was cold.
Yeah. So what does it mean? He probably won't go to jail, but he's guilty. He's a felon now. I keep seeing mixed things. He can't vote.
He can't vote if he was a resident of New York.
He can't vote in Florida. He can't vote in like local elections or something.
He can vote in Florida, but he can't in New York.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was convicted. He's a convicted felon in the state of New York.
But can he vote for local? Oh, right, because he's not. So he can vote.
He can vote, and he can also run for president.
Somebody said that he couldn't vote for himself.
No, he can.
And I was like, no, I'm pretty sure he can.
Yeah, I think he can. And as long as he's not like registered to vote in the state of New York.
Right.
And he's also allowed to. He's also, like I said, allowed to run for president. There's nothing
even in prison.
Yeah, even in prison. There's nothing in the Constitution that said that, because it's so fucking wild that they would have never thought of a convicted felon running for a presidency.
Because it is truly history of him being the first convicted
president. It is like
felon.
It is an unprecedented time.
Pun intended.
Pun intended. For that, but like it is also genuinely like one of those things that just like it's a bookmark in history, we'll say, just a little pin in the
absolutely. Yeah, and
another,
you know,
small chapter.
We'll see what it ends up meaning. His
polling
sentencing happens on the 11th
something like
of
that.
July, I think.
7-11 day.
And I might be in LA when it happens, so
maybe we'll see fireworks or something.
Maybe.
Out there in liberal New York.
Liberal LA, New York.
They got great big liberal people over there in Los Angeles, New York.
New York. Yeah, it's crazy.
So let's hear what Trump.
He has a
Here's
Gavin
what Trump
found
has
this.
to say.
Gavin pulled up this clip of Trump.
This is Trump just outside.
Walking out of the courthouse. See what he has to say.
When you go to Abuca de Beppo, there's so many wonderful things that are on walls and that there are on the table. Frankly, if you look at the Pope room, there's a big head of the Pope, and you should be able to play with it, I think, like an action figure or something. You know, when you go to a collectible store, and they have so much behind glass, and you can't look at any of it. The last time I checked, Abuca de Beppo was not a collectible store, so
it's a restaurant.
Yeah.
We would like to be able to take the framed photographs down from the men's room at Abuca de Beppo. And instead what you have is a very disgraceful judge who has said that you're not allowed to do that, when in fact you should be allowed to do that, because
is that what he got arrested for?
The fun pictures.
I didn't think so.
And
that
the carbonara is very expensive. And I think carbonara, what is that, like 4 or 5 ingredients? Peas. It's bacon. You know, they give it a different name, Italian name, but it's bacon. And I think some cheese, maybe a couple eggs. And it sounds like breakfast, but it's a very yummy pasta. But they charge you so much. They're charging people so much, and there was no way. It's an absolute disgrace. There was no way to pay for the carbonara. And so I was very justified in taking the photos of the beautiful ladies down from the men's room. Sophia Loren, and there were some butts where you couldn't see the faces, and a couple others, but they were pretty hot, old-timey hot. Old-timey hot, still hot, but old-timey, not modern. So you have a politically appointed and absolutely disgraceful general manager who said we could not take these photos down. And even though we had a screwdriver, we had everything that we needed to do so, but they said we couldn't do it.
Oh, they're talking about the drink.
Our country is in decline. Abuca de Beppo is in decline. The breadsticks are not as good. People say that. People say that the bread's not as good. Definitely not very good.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that's what he got convicted.
Yeah,
for.
it was.
Again,
it
that
was.
must have been one of the counts that I didn't.
Yeah,
look
it wasn't
into.
Count Dracula. I'll tell you what.
No, it's Count de Beppo. I love to, because I wonder what. So that, I mean, obviously, shout out to James Austin Johnson,
Of SNL.
the best Trump impression ever. I mean, you know, I don't mean to brag, but we've been a fan of him years before he got on SNL.
Whenever he did like the great big poop logs.
You can't play with your logs anymore. They,
They
won't let you
play with your poop.
Obama wouldn't let you. The greatest. He's so funny.
It sucks because those that he doesn't have those clips. I don't think.
Oh, like maybe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I think we were
He
like.
like bombed his Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
I get it.
I get it. When you get to that point, you don't want anything. Even, I mean, like I'm sure
he didn't
there's
say
nothing.
anything. It was, but
But
anyone
it's
will
just
get
like,
anyone on anything.
yeah, you just want to clean slate it. I get it. I would probably do the same thing,
Yep.
even though there's nothing. And you can look. Yeah, I wonder what kind of parking lot he's in because I'm just wondering if people around him walking past.
Yeah,
him
that was the thing. It looked like
because he's
they-
not talking quietly. It's very loud.
Yeah, yeah.
You gotta be loud.
I
when
mean,
you're-
if I was walking around in that parking lot, it would have definitely been like an instantaneous. Like, is that someone doing a Trump impression?
you guys are like, what is he? Who's he talking to?
Yeah.
Is he on
And
FaceTime?
yeah, exactly.
I love. It sounds like breakfast, but it's pasta.
But they're charging you so much.
They're charging you so much. That's great. I love that. But that's what he said. That's his response.
That's I feel like is the best way to get an impersonation is to impersonate someone impersonating someone.
Exactly. And that's what we do.
That's what we do.
Yeah, our Trump impression is James Austin Johnson's Trump impression.
It is.
We went to that school. I mean, anything else about the Trump?
No, I don't think
Thing
so.
you wanted to
I
talk
don't think
about?
so. It was very interesting to watch them read out the 37 counts of guilty.
34.
Yeah, whatever. How many did I say?
37.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
You added a few in there.
Well, I mean, who cares at this point? He's
I saw a headline last night that said Michael Cohen's family was doxxed after the
really.
trial.
Really?
I don't know by who, but somebody doxxed his family.
Why?
I don't know.
Didn't he already serve a prison sentence? He served like 2 years.
Right, but they were mad at him for
Yeah, because he
he
flipped.
was a rat.
He flipped.
He flipped, dude.
And now he's like anti-Trump. He's got total Trump derangement syndrome, folks.
So I think you can imagine who probably ratted on him, or who doxed him.
Oh,
some
yeah, like
rabid.
Nick Fuentes or something.
Yeah, I mean people like that probably.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know anybody for sure. I'm just assuming. You have to assume.
Yeah, well, that's fine. He's still in his mom's basement.
He is picking his nose,
Picking his nose and
little
looking
Nick.
like a little pig.
Little Nicky. You know, we watched that movie with Adam Sandler. It was directed by Quentin Tarantino.
We're going to go on to the next segment.
We have to. We gotta close the lid on Trump and open the lid on.
New York City is building more public toilets and launching an online locator so you can find them.
Oh shit! George Costanza is creaming in he's realizationing.
Now I
his
know,
jeans.
yeah, you're right. Now I know that this was an issue in New York because I saw
It is.
people posting that like the Barnes and Noble in Times Square or some shit. There's a Barnes and Noble somewhere off of whatever street because all New Yorkers know where all the fucking streets are, I guess.
Yeah, these jackasses.
Yeah, these jackasses that live in this big old city know all the street names, and they're like, "Oh, this Barnes and Noble on so and so street is closing their public restrooms," and that was like and they had like security guards and everything like to cover those bathrooms.
Okay.
I mean,
What the fuck?
it's true. Yeah,
That's
it
weird.
happened, and I guess there was also TikToks of people like trying to find like public restrooms or like places that have public restrooms in New York because like you have to be a paying customer in most places.
Well, Gavin, I mean,
And that's also why I brought this up is because I'm curious before I get into the story.
Yeah, of course.
What are your thoughts on this public toilet disaster piece?
conundrum. Well, I mean, I'm a pisser.
We're out in the field.
We out here.
Yeah.
I won't lie.
He's a real pisser.
I'm a real pisser. I have to piss quite often. No, I really do.
He's got a little oliguria.
He has the littlest, smallest bladder, the size of a pea. He'll have an acorn. I have to pee a lot because I have a nervous bladder.
I get it.
Because I don't necessarily think it's not the size of the bladder that matters.
Right.
Bladder.
It's
that
the amount
matters.
it holds.
It's
in the eye of the beholder.
I think your bladder is actually all up here.
Something like that.
And what I mean by that is that
Well, pee is stored in the balls.
exactly, which are up here. You think with your balls. What I mean by I'm a nervous pisser is that, like, right now I have to pee,
Right.
but it's
Okay,
not like I'm okay. It's not going to be a big deal.
Thanks for letting me know.
But like, there are times, especially when I'm like out and about, especially
Boot and a boot.
standing up, where I'm like, if I'm consciously thinking about I have to pee, I'm like, I got to find a bathroom right now. Doesn't even matter how, like, if I have to go super bad, like my mind will trick me into thinking I have to go really bad.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like constantly like, that's why I pee before I leave the house every single time, because I'm just like, I don't know if I'm going to have a bathroom where I'm going.
Right.
Or if I'll have access
What's
to
it going to be like?
Exactly. So that's why I'm a nervous pisser. And so when I went to New York two times a couple years ago, 2 years ago the last time, and then 3 years ago the time before that, I was like, this is going to be interesting because I don't know how their public restrooms are going to be. And honestly, I'm sure I ran into complications with it more than once. But the only one that sticks out in my mind is I went to this like thrift store that's like a old like punk shop called Thrash and Vaudeville. It's like a well-known place. And I was like, I had to go so bad. Like, it was really bad. And I went up to the guy behind the counter. I was like, hey, do you guys have a public restroom by any chance? He's like, no, I'm sorry, we don't. He was like, I might have even told this on the show. He's like, no, we don't. He was like, but he's like, there's a Starbucks like a couple blocks away.
Right.
He's like, they will let you go. He's like, I was homeless for a while. Like, that was the Starbucks I would always go to. And he's like, I used to be homeless, and I like Starbucks would always let you use their public restrooms, like, without question. And I was like, first of all, that's a great thing to know. And like, that's the people you're going to hear it from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I went in that restroom and nobody said anything to me, and I walked out and didn't buy anything. Because also fuck Starbucks too. Because I'm like, I don't want to have to go, like, if I'm gonna go into somewhere and have to pay for something to use their bathroom, it's not gonna be Starbucks.
Yeah.
So it felt good to go in and take a piss and walk out, and I pissed on the floor too. On
the baristas.
And on the baristas.
Gave them a tip of piss.
I said, you like that? Huh? And then the cops rubbed me out.
That's good.
But yeah, I'm sure I ran into complications more often. But I think, like, as a visitor, I was going into enough places to where, like, there would be a bathroom.
Right.
But if I was like
walking like a mile to work or something.
Yeah, or something like that, like, I'd probably be fucked because I wouldn't even know where to go.
Right.
But I guess if you're living there, you would know. So I guess, I mean, obviously this is great. I think this should be in every city.
Right. And
I'm sure there is an app for like every city, but it's like how many places are going to put on their app that they're like, hey, you can come here and take a shit.
Yeah, that's it.
It's got to be like user run.
Right. And that's the odd thing about American culture is that, like, I think most bathrooms in America are free. I would say there are some bathrooms that are like for paying customers only, but like I worked at Cane's and people would stop at Cane's and I wouldn't stop them going to the bathroom. And
I think
gas stations are all over the place that you can use all of their restrooms, and there's not a lot of gas stations in like downtown, New York.
Yeah,
but you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
so, like,
I think you might have a little bit, and I'm not trying to shame you, but I think you might have a little bit of a little city mindset there.
No, yeah,
because
absolutely,
any major
I know
city,
that. I know that 100%.
City,
I do.
Any major city you go to will tell you that they don't have a public restroom.
Like whenever we were in Chicago, I was like, I need to
they'll
find
just
a
tell you
bathroom.
they don't have a public one.
Right.
Like they'll just tell you that.
The other interesting thing was that, like, the other thing I was gonna say is that in Europe you do have to like pay to use the bathroom all the time. That was like
a
big
I didn't know
European
that.
thing, and like same thing with water.
Huh.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Or maybe they have so many public restrooms that no one's worried about it. But I don't think
they do. I think they do. I think they have, because that's the thing about what sucks about America is like, just like, and I know it's like we're gross, so this doesn't work, but like they should just have like a public restroom in the middle of the street, like on a sidewalk. You know what I mean? Like a porta potty type system. And listen, I know it sucks.
It says in Wikipedia, it says paid toilets are especially common in continental Europe.
Yeah, because I think they're even like a quarter, like, like you put a coin in, like a coin operated thing, which that would be fine. Dude, I would be perfectly fine with that.
You would just carry a
go in
bag
New
of
York
coins.
And there's like a thing that looks like a telephone booth, but it's a toilet.
Yeah.
Put like a quarter in.
Yeah.
Put $1 in. I don't care.
You
if I gotta piss that bad, I would put $1 in.
Would you put 2?
What would you put 2?
Well, what
If
about
I had
2?
to, sure. If I didn't know, because like as a visitor, as a tourist, until I knew about the Starbucks thing, because there's Starbucks on every corner, I would have been like, I'm gonna put $2 in, and then it goes back to the city. You just got to pay someone to clean the shit and piss out of it.
Yeah.
And you know that's the problem, is because a major city I did use a public restroom in, like a public restroom, was in LA. It was on Venice Beach.
Yeah, I've seen that one in GTA.
Yeah, it's probably the same one, because it's just like graffiti to hell and back.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it does not get clean.
Right off the beach.
Yeah, it's on the beach. There's like a big public restroom. For some reason, I'm remembering it being like a cylinder, like a silo shaped.
Interesting. Okay.
No lights.
Well, duh.
Just dark and damp.
It's Cali. We don't need lights.
We don't need lights in Cali. So it's gross, but I wish they did. Even like a coin operated one. You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, I'm gonna say it, but it would be to keep homeless people out from sleeping in
that's
there,
true,
which is a problem. But I'm not like, I don't want people to think that I'm like harping on that. I'm just like,
you notice things. You notice it.
I
You're
notice
noticing
things, and I know what their thought on it would be, and why there isn't public restrooms is because they're like,
public
well,
policy.
then homeless people are gonna sleep in it all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, then give them a place to sleep.
Exactly.
That's the fix to that. That's always the fix.
Yeah,
to that.
always a fix.
But anyway, sorry.
So
Rant.
this is from the AP. It says busing to go in the Big Apple.
Oh, I'm busting. I'm busting.
Some relief is on the way. New York City is not only getting more public toilets, but making them easier to locate using your smartphone.
What's the app name? I need an app right now.
Mayor Eric Adams announced Monday to build a plan to build 46 new restrooms in honor of the 46th president of the United States.
I was about to say, I'm like, this was 3 days after Trump.
The 46 new presidents, new restrooms, and renovate 36 existing ones in city parks, adding to the city's roughly 1,000 such facilities over the next 5 years. So they're adding they're only 46, but they probably have to make a little bit of space for it.
Yeah.
And they also are adding, he goes later into the story about like what they're adding. They're adding like new efficiency and like handicap and stuff like that, making them way updated.
Because here's another thing real quick.
They're old.
A lot of subway stations will have a bathroom, but they're all closed.
Yeah, that's odd.
Like they're all like old. They're like they've been closed since the 90s.
Huh.
They're like gated off, but like you can still see where they had bathrooms, and it's like there's like because all subway stations have so much empty space.
Yeah.
Every subway station has like tons of empty space because like I think the thought is like, well, where do you have room to put these public restrooms? In a subway station, there's so much fucking room, and there's always like don't make MTA people run it, but some of the MTA people do clean up, so you can have people there, but there's always cops there, so there's not like there's nobody who can make sure that nobody's doing bad stuff in the bathroom.
I guess if you really care that much about
if you really care that much, but it's like there's so much room in subway stations to have bathrooms.
Oh yeah, and like if you're riding on the train for like 20-40 minutes,
like it makes so much sense to just have a bathroom there
right off the station. Yeah,
but they
absolutely.
don't. Like the big ones do, like the huge like ones that are practically like a mall have them in it. But yeah,
Continuing on.
Yeah.
Continuing on my journey of piss.
Of pee and shit.
The Democrat said the city has developed a new Google Maps layer so people can easily find the locations of every public restroom operated by government agencies and civic institutions, including libraries and at transit hubs.
I love it. I'm liking what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Part
Sign
of
me
making
up.
New York City a more livable city is tackling the little things, the things we don't think about until we need them, Adams said in a statement launching the effort, which his administration has dubbed You're in Luck.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay.
It's URIN luck.
I like it.
Yeah.
I can't say I hate it.
Yeah.
Don't know anything about Eric Adams, but I don't hate that.
Yeah, I don't hate that. Yeah. The lack of public restrooms has long been a problem in a city where more than half of households don't own cars and hordes of tourists go sightseeing by foot and subway. It can be especially difficult for parents of young kids, pregnant women, seniors, and people with medical conditions, officials noted at a news conference. New Yorker Teddy Siegel created a now hugely popular social media account and online map dedicated to the public bathrooms in the city after, quote, nearly having an accident in Times Square in 2021. She welcomed the additional amenities on Monday. The The past 3 years, I've learned from my community that New York City's lack of publicly accessible restrooms is not only a quality of life and public health issue, but it's an inequity crisis. It's an equity crisis. That is what the official quote says. Said Siegel, whose own crowdsource Got2Go NYC map lists more than 2,000 places to find a facility. The mayor said that 28 of the new or renovated restrooms will be in Manhattan, 23 in Brooklyn, 14 in Queens, 10 in the Bronx, and 7 on Staten Island.
Right next to that restaurant that Rudy Giuliani goes to all the time.
Yeah. Rudy Coffee.
That's great. Yeah, when you have enough Rudy Coffee, you got to go.
Yeah, and
that stuff makes
the
you
Google
go.
Maps layer is going to be updated biannually, which means, I guess, every other year. Is that what that is? Biannually?
I think so.
Yeah. Biannually. That might be 6 months.
And
will include restrooms operated by the city's parks department, local transit agencies, the city's library systems, and the city's library systems. Data on the city's public restrooms will also be available on Open Data.
Yeah, I mean,
which is a link to.
This sounds great. This is the news I care about.
Yeah, I mean it is, honestly. He's up here.
And I think it's kind of odd that they're trying to gear it towards like people who live in New York because I think they know where to go.
Yeah, especially if you live on a block.
Yeah, and accidents somebody told a story about having a emergency in New York and they live there. But I still think that
I would just wear a diaper everywhere.
Exactly. But I still think they were going to go to their work and do it.
Yeah.
But I think it should mostly be geared towards tourists, which I think is what they're doing. They just don't want to outright say that.
Yeah, because then everybody in New York's going to be like, what are you doing it for the tourists for?
We're not doing it for us. Nobody in New York talks like that anymore.
They're not going to do it for us? What the fuck?
What the fuck? But yeah, I think it's great for the, every once in a while I go visit there. I'll know what to do.
I am really looking forward to traveling later in my life.
I'm really looking forward to taking a shit in New York.
Yeah, and maybe one day on Staten Island, or the Statue of Liberty head, shitting on the Statue of Liberty head.
Never done that before. They're putting one in.
They're putting one in her feet.
Yeah,
you can pee on her feet.
Finally, that's been my dream, is to piss on a giant's foot.
Mine too.
Been a dream since I was a kid.
Yep.
One of the weirdest bathrooms I went into was in the Guggenheim.
Is that real?
Yeah, the Guggenheim's like the swirly.
Yeah, no, I know what it is.
Yeah,
we almost went there.
It's like a weird. I think it was like it was really small because there's no walls. The only wall is the exterior wall. There's
in the Guggenheim.
Well, I guess there is there's rooms, but not really. But like the bathrooms are right by the entrance. They're like against the exterior wall. So they're like kind of curved. The toilets are curved. No, it's just like in a curved little closet.
Perfect for your curved penis, fellas.
Yeah. You can shoot your piss in the Guggenheim.
Around the corner.
You can bank shot it. Yeah. It's really cool. Really cool. But thanks for giving us the shit.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Update.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We do appreciate it. I'm going to save my Look What I Found for... Sorry, I got to flush it. I'm going to save my... I didn't even tell anybody what we're doing this week. We just kind of jumped right into it.
We did.
I did have a Look What I Found. Didn't have to say that, but I am. And I'm going to save it for next week.
Yeah.
But it would flow. It would flow.
Well, we could just skip the Nextdoor Drama and do it.
Yeah, it's just so short and perfect, and I kind of want to wrap this episode up.
Go.
So
I'll
save it.
Yeah.
We can spend our time with it.
I'll find another piss story. Don't worry.
Yeah. So then because I have to have a segue into this, but it's about your balls. I'll just say that. It really is.
Which is where the pee is stored.
It's stored in your balls. Just seeing if we have anything else. Nope. We're gonna get right into this Nextdoor Drama, folks. Nextdoor Drama is a segment we do every once in a while. We did one last week with 4 boys. All 4
Dude
of us.
soup.
The Matter Daddies, as we like to call ourselves.
Yeah.
Where we go to the
infamous...
Is that cool or what? Is that cool or what? Where we go to the infamous Nextdoor blog posting website, which is a blog posting website for your neighborhood. I feel like most people nowadays know Nextdoor. I'm seeing it referenced more on like Twitter and stuff like that than I ever have. I'm
very much waiting for like a best of Nextdoor Twitter, fucking gimmick account. They have
one.
They do.
Yeah, but it's like they don't. I think they stopped posting.
Yeah, there's gonna be another one that comes up.
Because they have an Instagram too, but they don't. Like, it was so funny. As soon as I found out about them and followed them,
They stop posting.
They stop posting.
That's usually what I do.
It's
That's
'cause
usually what happens to me too.
we took the
They passed the torch on to us.
and we took it.
The real readers.
The real readers.
Yeah, the real pissers.
We're the big pissers over here. Let us piss. We'll go to that blog posting website, which if you don't know for whatever reason, it's a blog posting website for your neighborhood where people can post whatever they want. Social media for the people in your surrounding area.
By the people.
For the people, by the people. But boy, do people hate it, even though they're on it every day.
Oh, God, yeah.
This Nextdoor Drama. Oh, and then so what we do is we take a blog entry in the comments and we script it out and we do a dramatic reenactment of it. This one is so short, but it's great. It's titled Morse Code. Did you restart the camera again? No. You probably should. I'm sorry. My bad. My bad. It's titled Morse Code. I will be playing the character Tammy and Gavin will be Craig. I'm not giving any more information about it because it's so short. And you'll find out very soon what it's about. Without saying much else, I'm going to hit the Nextdoor Drama intro song. And we're going to jump into it. Wow, all my stuff is just a mess in here. This week on Nextdoor Drama. That was me when I had all those big Cheez-It crunch wraps. I was laying there listening to the siren this morning, and I could hear what I think was Morse code within the blare. I was intrigued. A Google search revealed there could, indeed, be Morse code. In war times, the Morse code would share very important info with the officials. I wonder if anyone is actually listening for it anymore.
I think it was Morse code for Silent Night.
What?
It just depends on what part of town we are in. Myself, I heard While My Guitar Gently Weeps by the Beatles. But then again, I may have been dreaming this. Maybe it was A Day in the Life by the Beatles. Or Curly and the Three Stooges. Nyuk, 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 nyuk. Sometimes I don't hear so good. Working for the airlines didn't help, I'm sure. This was all just for fun. Sometimes I have a spare momentary lapse of reason.
I think the Morse code was, quote, take cover, get to your place of safety. That's what I interpreted. What is that? What is this? Is that Morse code? What is he saying?
Did I read that correctly?
Oh, yeah, it was perfect. There was a lot of spaces in that one.
Lots.
How would you even explain how that person writes? My brain went to millennial, but then I was like, I think it's like boomer.
No, that's like boomer and like train of thought thinking.
For anybody, well, listening or watching, because we're not showing it to you, they put actually 5 or more dots in between like
each phrase.
Each phrase. I wouldn't even say word. Like anytime Gavin took a pause, there were spaces.
And like, I think that's very much train of thought, but I have no idea what the fuck she meant. He or she
like
meant
train
by
of thought.
I think it was Morse code for Silent Night.
And what is that? They're saying
I don't
a
know what that
song,
means. I guess so. But then I was like,
this
person's come up multiple
has come
times.
up many
Yes,
times.
yes.
And they're always just saying stupid shit that's like they're trying to be funny, but it like doesn't make any sense.
Well, and like, yeah, honestly, I felt like I was reading it like a fuckboy because it's like, it just depends on what part of town we're in.
And it's like, what do you...
I heard.
And this person actually thinks that tornado sirens have Morse code in it? Like they actually think that they're like, they're like, a part of it seems like they know what Morse code is, and then the second part they have no idea what it means.
The Morse code.
Yeah, they're like, was Morse code within the Blair? I was intrigued. A Google search revealed that it could indeed be Morse code in war times, and then they're like explaining what they just found out what it is.
Yeah,
But they're like, it's not Morse. Morse code doesn't sound like a constant noise. It's like tapping. Yeah.
Yeah, that would definitely not be.
You're just hearing the sirens spinning.
Well, then I'm thinking like maybe it's so loud that it's like, you know, like whenever you listen to something for so loud and so it like makes your ears like kind of like feel like it's bouncing off the wall, or like you really like hear it or hear extra stuff because your mind makes up the extra space because it's hearing the same thing over and over again. Maybe she was so close that they were, you know, hallucinating that there was Morse code.
Yeah, because that's some actual like.
That could happen. I feel like that could happen if you're very close and it's super duper loud.
Yeah.
If you're far away, if you're hearing Morse code, you need to see a doctor.
Yeah, for sure. But if you actually think that there's Morse code within a tornado siren, you're also
that also might be a little bit
go
much.
see a doctor.
And I don't think they would be communicating it. I don't think they'd be communicating it over Morse code over the tornado sirens like that.
I don't think they would be either. Well, anyways, Nextdoor Drama. Moving on. Final segment we do every week called Whatcha Listening To, where Gavin and I recommend a song, album, or artist to each other and to you, the audience.
The audience.
Gavin, you said you already have something ready to go. Tell me what it is.
Well, this song right here is by Fontaines DC, Starburster. And Carson, I said before the show that I think you would really like this song.
I'm gonna check it out.
There's a couple really there's very interesting elements that I've never heard in a song like that before.
Huh.
And I was like, this is I meant a couple, but it was one very standout thing that is in this song that is just bizarre. Like I have no idea why they would add this.
Can you say what it is?
No, I'm not gonna. You gotta listen to the song.
Okay, I'll listen. Okay.
I mean, you hear. I'll spoil a little bit. It's
Morse
breathing.
code.
It's breathing,
Oh, okay.
but it's so odd.
Rhythmic?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel
It's
like I've heard that in a song before.
really
I think so.
okay. It's very odd. It's not like breathing really fast or something like that to like a rhythm or something. It's just odd. It's just odd. Don't know why they did this, but it's very catchy.
I'm going to hear it.
I really enjoy it. And I first heard it a few months ago, and I was like, what is this? Whenever they released it, because I had seen that Fontaines opened up for Arctic Monkeys, but we didn't go into our seats yet because it was during the show, and we're like, we'll just go in after that. So I heard them, but I couldn't see them.
Yeah.
So
you checked them out after.
I checked them out after, and they're still pretty good. But then they announced this album, and I'm like, oh wait, that's the same band I saw open up for Arctic Monkeys, or heard, I should say. And they released this album's coming out in August, I believe. So we got a couple months. So I'm really excited for that. But I'm excited for this album now, just based off this song.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited to check it out as well. This week, kind of I don't know. I want to say it's a weird rec for me, but it really isn't. It's pretty on par with where my music taste has been recently. I'm listening to the 2010 album by this band called Haste the Day. Haste the Day. I don't know if I said it weird. It's called Attack of the Wolf King. Now, this randomly came up because it's in the same vein as like older Architects, like very metalcore.
Emo.
It is metalcore. Metalcore, slightly emo. I'd say a little bit heavier. And it just kind of came up, and I was like, wow, like what? It was another moment where it's like a band that's not super popular. They don't seem to be around anymore. Their last album came out in 2015, but they're like still like touring occasionally or like playing shows occasionally. Yeah. And I was like, they're fucking great. Like this album's amazing. It's so good, especially for being 14 years old now. Wow. It's like it's as good as some of the shit that's coming out right now is, in my opinion, as far as like metalcore goes. And I was like, why isn't this band that popular? And I couldn't find much about them. And then I realized, they're a Christian metalcore band.
Oh, of course you find them good.
I know, it's so fucking weird why this
them.
happens. Like Under Oath, one of my favorite bands of all time. not a Christian metalcore band anymore, but
Did they
that's what
start out as?
very, like I've mentioned it before, like I'm pretty sure they have like pro-life songs, screamo songs on like in albums that came out when they were like 16.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but now they're like completely opposite of that. Like they've completely
They flipped their image.
like big time flipped their image.
Bigly.
But I still love their fucking.
I love their old
Christian,
stuff.
I do.
Well, okay.
Not their really really old
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But like I'm sure some of the songs I love have lyrics in it that are like I don't agree with for sure.
Yeah.
But there's just something. These Christian metalcore bands are so fucking good. I don't know what it is.
Did you see any of the band members maybe form a different band or new one or?
I don't think so. There's not
Interesting.
much about them. It just seems like they did this band and some of them split off, and it's mostly the same members that have been around and like their 2015 out. So I think this was their last album before they split up. Or maybe it wasn't. Let me check that. Yeah, no, this was their last album, and then they split up after like a tour, and then they came back in 2015 to release another album, and that one to me, which is really good, it's called Coward. Seems even more Christian than this Attack of the Wolf King, because like I said, I listened to this full album like multiple times before I knew that they were a Christian metalcore band.
Is there
like
elements of Christianity?
I'm sure it's in the lyrics, but like in like some of the songs, not even really. I mean,
Sinners Go to Hell is one of the songs.
They really
repent
honestly
for God, repent for Jesus. Jesus died for your sins. It's like one of the songs.
No, nothing. Like honestly, nothing. Even in like the names of the songs, you can maybe pull something from out of Christianity, but I'm sure in the lyrics, there definitely. I'm sure there is. But dude, just something about those. I mean, like, and it's not just me. Like every metalcore band right now, like references the Christian metalcore bands as being like their inspirations, even though none of them are remotely Christian in any way. But it's just something about that sound that is so good. For whatever reason, they figured it out, and it's like heavy, and it's like can be really dark sounding at times. And it's so funny to be like, they're praising God. Shit, it's so weird.
We're writing about God with this song.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's like, no, you're not. You don't sound like you are.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's so good. If you can listen to it without, whatever you need to tell yourself to, just listen to it and appreciate it for what it is. Not speaking for myself, but speaking for you if you want to listen to it at home. Please do. It's such a fucking good album. And they're a very interesting band. It's a good, just give it a listen. That's it. That's all I have to say. Sorry.
You good to wrap up the show?
Sorry. Yeah, of course. I gotta take this call.
Well, everybody, thanks for the Takes All Kinds podcast episode. Wrong one. Episode 170.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Keep listening. Keep following us. Keep liking and subscribing. Keep watching our reels. Keep liking our photos.
Keep licking our feet.
Please.
Please.
And pee on my big old toes.
Pee on the Statue of Liberty's feet. Please.